Hey guys, Dan King here, just doing a quick trailer reaction video. The Supergirl official teaser trailer just got released the other day, and I've just given it a watch, and I have some rather mixed feelings about it, really. The casting looks okay, but the problem I have with it is it looks like it's got a lot of chick flick elements to it in terms of the character dynamics and the "oh, I love you sister" type stuff, and it gives the impression that it's trying to be two different types of show. It looks like it's trying to be both a superhero show and a girl power show. Sorry, three types, and a sort of girl power we can do it show, and a chick flick show, if that makes sense. And I just don't see how these three elements are really going to merge. I mean, they spent ages on the trailer with her choosing the design of her costume, and I mean, I don't recall having seen that in a single superhero TV show. I mean, if you look at Arrow, sure, there were sort of occasional adaptations as it went along, but it was never that much of a big deal. And the Flash costume was kind of mentioned a bit in the series. But heck, look at the first issue of the Flash. I know, I reviewed this the other day, but Flash Speed Force #1, if you look at that, that's barely mentioned at all. His development of a costume is glossed over in 2 panels, and that's it. So it's not that I'm saying I think costumes should be glossed over. I think sometimes the design of them and why they are the way they are. I like the idea of the cape adding aerodynamic stability. I'm pretty sure, if anything, it would reduce aerodynamic stability because it's just waving about and it would make it much more likely to crash into something. But I suppose in comic book physics, it gives a reason for it to be there. And it doesn't make it some silly thing that could get caught in a plane propeller like we saw in The Incredibles. So I suppose in that sense I'm glad they've actually got a reason to include it, and I'm glad that Superman's at least being acknowledged in terms of his existence. I do hope he actually appears, at least as a recurring character, because I heard them just generally mentioning him, sort of saying, your cousin, your cousin, your cousin. But is there much point really in having I don't know what to call it really, Superman family character? I don't really see the point really in having a Superman family character starring in a show if Superman is not going to appear at all, especially when she's still Superman's cousin in the continuity of the show. It's like when they did the Supergirl movie that didn't have any Superman in it. That just actually, I'm not even going to mention that. The film itself was just terrible. But I think the woman slash girl who's playing Supergirl in this does look a lot like the character. I think she does seem to look like a good casting choice. I'm not familiar with the actress. She looks like she does quite a good job on the trailer, but then the trailer's sort of advertising everything. But then she does look like the character does look like she's going to be a bit more emotional than any of the male characters we see having their own TV shows at the moment. Which again seems to be falling into this chick flick trap. And I mean, they have one scene where David Harewood's character basically tells her he doesn't want her to help him, in the trailer anyway, and then she just goes home and immediately cries because he basically said he doesn't like aliens. If any other character, or if any male character in this kind of TV show had been through a similar ordeal, they'd be like, you don't think I can, oh whatever, I'll show him, I'll capture so many villains and stuff. They don't go home and mope and cry. So I think the writing on this almost looks a little sexist, to say the least. But actually that's not quite right. It looks like it's playing to a certain audience that the rest of the show doesn't look like it's playing towards. So I'm not sure what to expect in terms of that. But one thing that does interest me. Apparently David Harewood, who you might also remember from BBC's fantastic Robin Hood TV show from 2006 to 2009. FYI, can you believe that Keith Allen as Sheriff Vasey in that show was missed off of WatchMojo.com's top 10 TV sheriffs and top 10 TV villains lists? I can't understand them. He was fantastic in that role. Anyway, that's on side note. Apparently he's playing Metallo in this, or the character he's playing is going to be Metallo. And I also noticed one thing that's not the only seemingly unnecessary ethnicity change. The one that I don't mind that, because Metallo's got to be a badass, and David Harewood, as we saw in Robin Hood, was freakishly badass in that. Amazingly badass, and so I think he's a good choice, in spite of the ethnicity change, which I don't mind. I'm not racist, I don't mind that. It's just I prefer a character to look the way they do on the pages. With that said, Grant Gustin looks nothing like Barry Allen in the comics. He's nowhere near as musty and his hair's not blonde. But he's a fantastic casting choice. And he's great in the role. But I'm not so sure about what they were thinking with Jimmy Olsen, who's generally been drawn in the comic books and in the animated shows and everything as a sort of small ginger guy with glasses. And they've got a 6-foot-something muscly black guy to play him, which is a very unusual choice. Maybe he's just a good actor. I mean, sometimes I think you can take colourblind casting a bit too far. I think the problem is, I think Jimmy Olsen should have been played by a ginger. I don't think a white guy with blonde hair or brown hair should have played him. I think he should have given a ginger actor a role, because you don't see that many ginger actors in American TV shows now. That was completely off topic. So, all in all, I think the series looks confused as to what it's trying to be. I think it looks like it's going to have good and bad points. But it's just a trailer, only time will tell. I'm not that excited because it looks confused as to what it's trying to be, but I'll definitely be giving it a watch. So, that's my view of the trailer. Please feel free to tell me what you thought of the trailer, and I'll put a link to the trailer below. Thanks, guys.